Welcome back, everyone. It's the Bourbon Judge. Hey, we're back at it with Old Potrero. Yes, Old Potrero. So, if you rewind a little bit, I did an episode not long ago called 3 Whiskeys I Can't Wait to Pop. And this was actually one of them. I covered it high level, but I was like, you know what? I love giving, special attention to the small brands. All of us, we all know the big brands, right? And we're going to know them every single day, right? Everyone knows your Heaven Hills, Buffalo Trace, Michter's, Makers, and so forth. However, if you've ever watched my channel, you know I'm a big fan of smaller craft distilleries. So while I did cover it very high level in that last episode, I want to give a little bit of love to Old Potrero. So what do we know, Judge, about Old Potrero? Let me go ahead and pop this and get a little bit more. All right. So Old Potrero is actually a smaller craft distillery based in San Francisco, California. The cool thing about them is that they only make, and literally, rye whiskey. They don't make bourbon. They don't make American whiskey. They don't make American single malts. They make 100% rye whiskey. And if you go on their website, you'll see that they do have, in addition to their standard rye whiskey, obviously, that's cask strength, they do have like other versions of it. So they'll have like a rye whiskey, 100% rye whiskey, finished in like X beer barrels, or a rye whiskey finished in X like wine barrels. So they still have like some other like, different product suites, if you will. But the core of their whiskey is purely, and I mean purely, 100% rye whiskey. That's pretty cool. When I think about like other distilleries that make rye whiskey or only rye, I would think about number one, I would say actually Sagamore, but Sagamore just converted. They just started to put out bourbon, which is coming out pretty soon. But there are some other smaller craft distilleries that only truly produce rye whiskey. Old Potrero out of San Fran, they are one of them. So for me, when I think about Old Potrero, one of the challenges is that I travel a lot for work, and honestly, a lot of times, like when I'm out there traveling, if I have a chance to hit a liquor store, I unfortunately couldn't find Old Potrero. So, it's kind of hard to find it, but I will say you can go directly to their website, plug in your zip code, and you can find like a store locator if they happen to have it around you, some of their products, as well as they do sell their products even online. So if you ever want to buy a bottle, just go directly to their website. For me, luckily, I got this bottle because I was on vacation with the family out in Scottsdale, Arizona. Went into Trevor Liquors. They did a single barrel, which this is their pick. And by the way, let's pause. Trevor Liquors in Arizona, woo! It's an experience. Look up their website. It's an experience. All right, I digress. Back to back to Old Potrero. But they let me try their single barrel, which is this one here, and I was like, I'm done. That bottle is coming home with me. And I popped it right after that last episode. And again, want to give a little bit of love to these guys. So the other cool thing about Old Potrero is the fact that in addition to only producing rye whiskey, they produce their whiskey using a pot still. So when you think about distilleries that produce whiskey, it's either pot or it's column. Column stills are used by the big boys. All the large distilleries, your MGPs, your Makers, your Heaven Hills, they all use column stills. The reason why is you can produce a crap ton of whiskey, hundreds of barrels on a daily basis because it's a continuous distillation on a daily basis. Pot still is, honestly, you're only producing a couple barrels a day with a pot still. So typically smaller craft distilleries use a pot still. When I think of like other distilleries that are smaller craft distilleries that use pot stills, I think of my good friends Glen's Creek, Dave, the owner over at Glen's Creek. He produces produces his whiskey using a pot still. It's rumored to say that pot stills create a bit more flavor, like in the White Dog. It's still a little subjective, but that is the quote unquote theory behind pot stills. But again, smaller craft distilleries can use pot stills because they're a smaller operation as a whole. I think for them, for example, they only produce a couple barrels of whiskey per day. All right, let's get into this whiskey. So this is a single barrel. Again, this is a 100% rye whiskey coming in at 137.4 proof. Yes, 137.4 proof. Damn near hazmat. Yes, indeed. Aged 8 years and 11 months. As it says right here on the front, straight rye whiskey, again, non-chill filter, which I love, and truly 100% old pot stilled rye whiskey. Not bad. Let's go ahead. First and foremost, look at the color of this. Look at that. See how dark that is? Look at the color of this whiskey. Absolutely amazing. I love the color. Look at that. Not bad. Let's get into the nose real quick. So the cool thing about them is that, again, if you're looking for them, definitely check out their website, because I did not realize even on their website you can just go in and they have like a store locator. You can just plug in your zip and find where their whiskey is. I was actually wrong. There had been times where I was traveling and they did sell their whiskey, but it had to be in certain stores. So check them out. Check out their website for sure. Oh man. So this was a $90 bottle, which for me kind of made sense, right? It's almost aged pretty much 9 years, 8 years and 11 months. So it's 9 years, only $90. So kind of the math worked out, right? And when I tried it inside of Trevor's, I was like, damn, the judge has been sleeping on some fantastic whiskey. But let's go ahead and have another sip. Hey, real quick, 3 quick easy favors. Number 1, hit the like button. Number 2, drop me a comment. Let me know what are your thoughts on Old Potrero. If you've ever tried it, what are your thoughts? Last but not least, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you get notification each and every time I release new content. Cool? All right, here we go. Cheers. Holy crap. This is so damn good. Oh my gosh. It is amazing. It has, on the back here, it does also say 24-month air-dried New American oak for their barrels. So they even take it a step further for their barrels as well, which I like that, by the way. This to me is truly a league of its own, right? It's up there. It kind of reminds me in some ways, not exactly, at least my bottle, in some ways, of the Corbin Cash Rye. It kind of, right? Their Merced Rye. It's very much in that same lane, similar but yet different. What I love about this is that it has a ton of, like, when you think of like a rye, everyone thinks of like that very much like mint, peppermint, very like floral type of a note. This is completely different. And I mean, it's not even in the same realm. Are there some pepper notes? Sure. But there's not a ton of mint. There's no like floral notes. There's none of that. Like that spearmint, none of that at all. This to me is like a combination from a nose and a palate standpoint. It very much has like almost like a raisin meets like a grape kind of a note with tons of like blackberries, tons of leather, tons of chocolate. Oh my gosh, you would never know this is 100% rye whiskey if you sip this neat and blind and didn't know what the brand was. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Tons of raisins, blackberries, plums, leather, chocolate. I'm going for seconds. This is damn good. Wow. Cheers to Old Potrero. The judge is awake and I'm ready to get into this whiskey. Cheers. Scary thing about it, 137.4 proof. It sips like it's like 115, 120. That's scary. That means you can have a lot of fun and the next day wake up saying, woo, Old Potrero kicked my butt. Hey friends, this to me is definitely a buy. If you see this brand, a single barrel, if you like a great whiskey, I guarantee you will love this brand. Hey, until the next time, peace, cheers, most important, salute. Take care. See you guys.